Hey everybody, how's it going? I can't find my good camera, so to hell with it. Let's just do this. I got some things I want to run through. First off, let's, move in the timeline. Let's start out on Sunday afternoon, that Arizona game. I was really happy with it. I have very few things to complain about that game. I thought it was probably the best we looked all year, and it really gave me some confidence moving forward. Maybe not tomorrow, but I mean in general, in the future, that we might be able to move on with this division and for us to pretty much sink Arizona in the divisional race, for us to get that sweep, for us to win in Arizona for the first time in a couple of years at least. It's sweet, and we did it through the passing game, and I thought it was Matt's best game I've seen him play in a while. I can't even remember the last time he played that well. Probably last year in against Jacksonville, the 41-0 game. And what he did through the air, he threw for I think nearly 300 yards in the first half. He got hurt, he came back, he continued to play pretty well. It didn't turn it over. I think he took a couple sacks, but he was getting the ball out, getting it to Mike Williams, who throughout a lot of that game was covered and just making great throws. And that's what a Mike Williams can do for you. So yeah, the passing game was on. Like I said, Mike Williams, great game. He's a monster. I love watching him. That one-handed catch he made with Adrian Wilson draped all over him is really one of the best catches you'll see this year. And Dion Butler, when he made that catch last year to pretty much beat the 49ers, I thought to myself, we might have something with this guy, and we do, because he's a speed demon, and he's figuring out the position. He's making big catches for us, and that play really broke this game open and really changed my disposition of the way the game was going to go. At that point, I was a little concerned about the way the game was going, and then Dion Butler just breaks a big one, and finally we throw a deep ball and it works. So Ben Obomanu made catches, Chris Baker had a big catch, the backs out of the backfield made catches. My only real complaint would be John Carlson needs to step his game up. He's better than this, and he needs to start making some catches. He's not had a great year. I expected more from him, and to some degree I understand that Mike Williams is taking a lot of the catches on this team, but a guy like John Carlson should be making a few catches a game, and he has not played that well this year. But the offensive line was good in pass protection. So all around, when it comes to the passing game, there's not much to complain about. The running game, I know Justin Forsett's putting up the better numbers right now, but Lynch, I have to say, the way he runs, I continue to like the way he runs. The numbers are not there yet. They should be. I think they will be if we give it time. We need to I don't know. We need to figure out exactly what we're going to do there, but we need to figure out how to run block better for Lynch, because he is the kind of guy that's going to produce big for us when we need him, if we can put him in positions to succeed. So I didn't have a problem with it on Sunday, because we did not need the running game to succeed. We passed the ball a lot, and we passed it effectively, and I don't have a problem with that. So what we did, it worked. In the future, if we need to run the ball, I want to be able to run the ball effectively, and I think Lynch is going to be the key to that, because I love the way he runs. I love the things he does, and I don't want him to get worn down because he's running that way and only picking up 2 yards a pop. I want him to get some production so he's making a tangible contribution to this offense. But hopefully it'll come. Defensively, I thought we played great. We gave up one really bad play. We gave up the couple of other long plays in really the fourth quarter. But most of that game, we did what I wanted. We didn't give up any big plays. We forced Arizona to move the field, earn their yards. And for the most part, they couldn't do that. Their one real concerning touchdown, the first one on their second or first drive of the game, I think it was the first drive of the game, was off the big Larry Fitzgerald play. So That's what I'm saying. You can't give up the big play. And I don't know how Larry Fitzgerald came down in the inbounds on that one, but I still didn't see a replay angle that completely convinced me he did, but I don't know. But other than that, we forced them to work down the field, and they couldn't do it. Derek Anderson would throw a terrible pass. They'd have a negative running play. They'd have something go wrong, and they'd be punting it away. We had a couple of turnovers off of a pick that was tipped, another quarterback strip sack. So pretty much we did everything I wanted on defense. The other touchdown we gave up was garbage, and we gave up a field goal. So that's awesome. We did exactly what we needed to do outside of that first drive. So I thought almost the whole team was clicking. So the pass rush I want to talk about real quick, because early in the game we weren't getting much. I was frustrated, and then Aaron Curry and Chris Clemons came along in the second half and really helped put this game away. Curry probably had the best game of his career. Clemons played an awesome game, and I can't say enough about Chris Clemons, because he was a guy we picked up off the scrap heap. He was a guy not a lot of people wanted, and he's been awesome for us. I have so much good to say about the pass rush he's been applying this year. And Lawyer Milloy, I expected nothing from Milloy this year, and he's been great too. So I got to give it up to this front office for going out and getting guys like that, because not a lot of people would have expected them to make these kind of contributions. What else do I want to say? That's about it. It was a really good game. We beat Arizona in Arizona, so now we're moving on, and I'll be getting to that in a minute. But I want to move forward to Thursday, the Huskies game, hosting UCLA. Now, obviously, I wanted Jake Locker to have a good game in the last game in Washington of his college career, but it wasn't there. And it wasn't really that he played poorly, though he did not play that well. It was that we were able to run the ball all over UCLA. They could not stop Chris Polk. They could not stop Collier. And we just kept pounding it and pounding it and pounding it, and they couldn't stop us. So we stuck with that pretty much the entire second half. Jake Locker ended up with was 9 of 20 with a pick and a rushing touchdown, which is fine because we won and because we controlled the game. Other than a few plays where we did get stuffed in short yardage, which was disappointing, we controlled that game. And we had a couple of bad penalties that really set us back from being able to control the game much earlier than we did. But ultimately, the defense stepped up. The defense was great all game, other than the one touchdown drive, where UCLA did run it down our throats. But other than that, the run defense was great. UCLA couldn't pass worth anything on us. We forced some turnovers. A turnover turned the game. A turnover sealed the victory. The pick six. And yeah, it was just a great game. And anything else I got? It was just a good victory. It was pretty much what I expected. I would have loved to see this offense go out there and completely light it up in the last game. Locker gets to play at UW, but you take what's given to you, and maybe he's still a little sore in the ribs because, that injury has not healed completely yet. So you take what you can get. So that's that game. Moving forward, the Apple Cup Cougars, I fully expect to win. Anything less will be very surprising and very disappointing to me. I know the Cougars are a little better this year, but I do not consider them to be good enough for me to genuinely be concerned about this. Now, I'm not saying we're so much better than Washington State or anything, because we are better than them, but not by some exceedingly large gap. But I fully expect to win. And the Cal game, then we're going to roll into Cal, and that one I don't know about. We will see. I feel like we can do it, but I don't feel as awesome as I did about this UCLA game or this Cougar game. So only time will tell, but I expect that. Previewing the Seahawks-Saints game, Yeah, I'm just not feeling this one. Looking at the Saints team, they're 6-3. That's not that great. It's fine. I mean, it's good. It's not bad or anything like that. But even at 6-3, I look at the Saints team, and they're not as good as they were last year. I think that's fairly obvious. But the thing I look at is that for them to lose, and they've lost 3 games this year, for them to lose, they've had to fuck up royally. They've had to make huge mistakes. It seems like it's all within themselves. Like, obviously teams have to make mistakes to lose games. Otherwise, if a team didn't make any mistakes, they would have won. But looking at that Falcons game, they missed a 20-yard field goal that would have won it. Now that's not so awful as some of the other games, but it's still pretty bad. The game was obviously right there in their hands, and they blew it on a easy field goal. And then you could look at the Cardinals game where there was a fumble that Arizona recovered in the end zone. There was a pick six. There were interceptions flying everywhere. A lot of big fluky plays for the Cardinals. It was a miserable day for the whole Saints team in general. It was not something I would look at and say, yeah, the Saints got outplayed. It was just a weird game. They had to make so many mistakes to lose that one. And then the Browns game where Drew Brees throws 2 pick sixes to a defensive lineman, and all the other mistakes that the Saints made. They gave up a 60-yard fake punt up the middle. A lot of weird things have to happen for them to lose. When they play within themselves, when they don't make these drastic and huge mistakes, it seems like they win. So as long as they continue to control themselves, and it seems like they're back to doing that now, seems like they are one of the best teams in the league. And this week, I'm just not feeling it. We're gonna roll into the Superdome, where the Saints play much better than they usually do, and I'm not feeling it. I think our offense is actually going to put up some points. I think the offense will be pretty good. I know the Saints defense is good. I just think this offense will be fine. I just don't know how we're going to stop the Saints. So there's the pick. We'll see what happens, but I do not feel it right now. 5-5, fine. I'll take it. Real quick, pick 'em. Ravens Panthers. You Panthers fans, there are quite a few of you on YouTube. You guys are brave, because I know some of you were talking trash behind Brian St. Pierre. So I got the Ravens in a blowout. Houston at New York. The Jets of New York. I am taking those Jets of New York. I think they're due for a blowout as well. Buffalo at Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't lose this one, right? They might suck, but they can't lose this one. It's Cincinnati. Cleveland at Jacksonville. I like the Browns. I think there's going to be a little bit of an upset here. I like the Browns. Packers at Vikings. It's got to be the Packers. That Vikings team is such a mess right now. Redskins at Titans. Titans got to win this one to stay alive in the division race. Got to take care of business here, and I think they will. Arizona at Kansas City. I'm going to ride the Kansas City wheels, the Kansas City at-home wagon until the wheels fall off, so I'm going to keep picking them at home, and I'm going to pick the Chiefs. Lions at Cowboys. I guess I'll pick the Cowboys. I can't pick the Lions at home. I can't justify that. Oakland at Pittsburgh. This is an interesting upset pick, but I am going to sit with the Steelers. I don't think they'll lose 2 in a row. Seahawks at Saints. I already picked the Saints. Bucks at 49ers. That's a long plane ride for the Bucks, so I guess I'll pick the Niners. I think it's going to be a good game, though. Falcons at Rams. Falcons should take care of this here. Colts at Patriots. I'll keep riding the Colts. Giants at Eagles. I got the Eagles. I really like the way this Michael Vick thing is going. And Broncos at Chargers. I think it's going to be the Chargers continuing to beat their comeback path. As a note, I picked Miami on Thursday night, and that's all I got. See ya.